to TNJ Radio Show.
What's good? What's good? Willie T here in the building on a Wednesday afternoon. We got a good show here today. As you can see, today I'm flying solo. Technically, I've been kind of flying solo for a couple of days, because my wife and kids, they had a little mini vacation without me. They left me behind. No, they didn't leave me behind. I just had to handle a couple of things, but it's a good time, because a lot of times as a man, you like having time to yourself, but in the long run, you don't want to be alone. So what's good? Shout out to Josie Sports Nation. But yeah, I enjoyed that time. I was over here just messing up the dishes, not washing my hands. No, I was washing my hands, but I was washing my hands in the kitchen sink because, my wife, right? She don't like that. She said you can't wash your hands in the kitchen sink. Now, I don't understand it because I'm like, I'm like, if there's soap sitting there at the table, then you should be able to use it. What's good, AZ? My man. But yeah, if the soap is there in the kitchen, why can't you use it? She's always going off on me like, no, you got to go to the bathroom. Use the bathroom. So, shout out to all the people who gonna wash their hands in the kitchen sink. Because we ain't scared. Put a 1 in the comments if you do it. Don't do it if you're going to get in trouble. But yeah, so we got a show going on tonight. And pretty much I'm going to be knocking down some constructs. I'm going to be making a mess. I'm going to start a fire. So let me get my fire starting music on. Because this one ain't going to be too nice. Getting tired of a lot of things that's going on. We're going to be talking about Disney. Because Disney got a lot. They in the news a lot. They got a lot going on. They starting problems. We're going to be talking a little bit about Cam Newton. As you guys see in the heading, we're going to be talking about what was wrong with what Cam Newton said. Or was he right? And people just don't want to hear it. Because there's a lot going on in regards to relationships that there's a lot of changes and people don't really like the truth. Is it the truth? Or is he just making it up? I mean, I want to get y'all's opinion. If you haven't yet, be sure to hit the like button. Hit the like button. We fighting against that YouTube algorithm. We want to get it spread around. We want this message to go around the world. But yeah, we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk a little bit about Ben Shapiro shutting down a so-called woke genius. Because a lot of these people, they so smart. They so smart, they stupid, but they think they smart. We're going to start a whole trail of problems here. So we get shut down, just know it's Disney's fault. Because they the ones over here, trying to set up your kids, your children. They're in everything. They're not just about the cartoons. They're not just about the movies. They took over the superhero stuff. They took over Star Wars. They took over ABC. They took over what else? Took over your sports. How do you feel about that? Disney is changing the landscape of everything. So we're going to get into that. We're going to unpack it. We're going to break it all down so we could build something up. So let's get into it. I'm gonna drop the link early. Give me 1 second. L or Josie said, hide your kids and your wife. Yeah, but it's crazy because now they're coming for our kids. You know, it's all about here, let me just type this in here real quick. Click link. I'm not one of those people that could talk and type at the same time. I used to do that pecking stuff. You know, like when you over there just typing like this. I just graduated. But see, I even messed that up. Here, let me just put it right here. When I put it through, you know, it says link HTTP. But there we go. We got the link in there. But yeah, so Disney, they're coming for our kids. But before that, you know, I'm gonna take y'all back a little bit, okay? Because Disney has been, you know, having an effect on families for a long time. But we're going to go back to the past, and I'm gonna just put this up here about them ruining the culture. Because in the past, in the 60s and 70s, right? Walt Disney, he had a vision that, you know, he's going to, you know, make all kids smile and stuff like that. And he came out with things like Mickey Mouse, Steamboat Willie, all that stuff. But then what Disney did was he took over some of the current books, because a lot of books that you've seen, a lot of movies, these weren't originally Disney movies and books. These were, you know, stories that were there that Disney just kind of co-opted. So you got stories like Snow White, you got Cinderella, you know, all these different things. But, and a lot of them were pretty dark stories, right? But what Disney did was kind of make it to where there's the same thing going on over and over again. There's usually a princess, right? And there's a prince, or there's a, you know, a guy, either one. And the prince is out there, you know, going to go marry the girl, and he's just giving her everything she wants, and he's fighting to the death. He might fight the dragon, like in Rapunzel. He might, you know, go up against the evil queen, whatever it is. And in the end of it, it's happily ever after. So what Disney did in those times past was kind of set up this false expectation that you don't really have to bring anything to the table, ladies. All you have to do is just be, and Prince Charming is going to come and get you, right? It don't work that way. How's that working? If anyone's had that work, whether you're a man or a woman, put a 1 in the comments. I don't expect to see any. If you have not, put a 0 in the comments. So keep it on going. So what Disney ended up doing, right? In addition to that, they started setting up this thing to where it kind of had this countercultural stuff. So you had stuff like Aladdin. You know, there was an arranged marriage, and you know, he was going to kind of establish the kingdom by marrying his daughter to another successful person. And Disney said, hey, that's bad. You shouldn't get married to be able to preserve the kingdom. You shouldn't be married to be able to help this next generation. You should get married just based off of what you like, because it's all about you. So Jasmine on Aladdin, she running around with a bum, you know? So this is the type of stuff that Disney was promoting in the past. But now they can't, and I see y'all in the queue, AZ, J Money. I'm gonna get y'all in a second. But now they kind of shifted their tune from that. They're not telling you to marry bums. They're telling you that anybody can be anything. They're telling you that if you're a boy, you can be a girl. They're telling you if you're a boy, you should marry a boy. They're telling you all these things. That's what Disney is doing. So I want to get y'all's opinion. We're going to talk about it. Let me get my man AZ on here. What's good?
Yo, good.
Oh man, I thought that was Usher on the other side. Yeah. So what you think about Disney ruining our culture?
I think Disney been doing it, bro, for a long time. For a long time, man. This started 30 years ago.
Right.
This started 30 years ago. Indoctrination through media ain't new. It's just more accessible now. It's everywhere. It's in your phone. You get a phone. Everybody's got a phone. Homeless dudes got smartphones. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's just instant access to anything that they want, that you want. And because of that, it's just harder to screen now. Before you could just turn off the TV, tell your kids not to do this. Now it's in the video game. It's on social media. It's everything, and it's owned by just a couple of companies. Disney happened to be one of the largest ones.
Right. So, as we're seeing right now, back in '96, as people know, Disney actually purchased ESPN and ABC. But before that, they tried to purchase NBC, and they were unsuccessful. Mm-hmm. And at the time, NBC, that was a big thing because NBC was running the NBA. It had all the contracts that NBA on,
Yeah.
Don't clown me on my non. But yeah, so they've just creeped into every aspect, like because Viacom used to be the big company that had everything.
Yeah, CBS, yeah.
Yep, you would always see Viacom all over.
As a production company too, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
But now Disney, it went from I'm going to Disney World to Disney's in your world.
Yeah, I mean they several companies that have grown large like that just bought up a lot of media companies, Comcast, other companies that, and that's the company I work for right now, bought up NBC, but other proprieties even in Europe. It's well known. It's in, you can look it up in any public trading report. So, a lot of these companies have become very large media conglomerates. Media and television and media has become one of the huge industries, and it wasn't that way 30 years ago.
So, that brings an interesting question. You had mentioned the cell phones and the social media and how all of that, brings us into an interconnected world. Like we have the most connections now than ever, pretty much.
Yeah.
So my question is, who do you think it is that's influencing the direction that these companies are going? Like, do you think it's the consumers, or do you think it's the executives, or some type of mix? What would you say?
I mean, from my point of view, it definitely feels like sometimes a certain agenda is trying to be pushed on me that I don't necessarily vibe with. There's a lot of stuff I won't watch, or I'll turn off, or I'll stop watching because it just went down an avenue that I just didn't want to see that. But a lot of people don't watch TV for the same reason I do. I actually want to be entertained. I want to laugh. I want to be sad. I want to be moved by what I see, but it's all fiction.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't necessarily want to see another representation, not all the time anyway, of struggles of being Black in this country or anything like that. I watch TV to escape all that. But that's me. Now, other people that I know, they want all that in there because that's how they live their life, I guess. So they live it through social media, through the TV, and they want to see their problems spread out across the screen so they can relate to it. And the companies make a lot of money on that.
Yeah. Well, I thought, it's interesting because a lot of stuff used to be the fake problems. Like, you remember our parents used to watch the stories that, the soap operas and things like that. And there would be a lot of fake made up. That was really some fictional stuff. everybody's always cheating on each other. Someone's trying to kill somebody, all the time.
Yeah. They live it now through Facebook.
Right. Yeah, and Instagram.
Well, Facebook, I'm showing my age now. I guess Facebook's for old people now. I was told.
Well, I heard it's called Fake Book too. So, you never know.
Yeah, people take it too seriously. It's like, you don't know who I am in real life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Now, did you see the stuff with Cam Newton?
I did not. I read it in your bio here, but I did not. I did not see what he said.
Okay, hold on one sec. You got a couple minutes?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna just put this on the screen real quick because I want to get y'all's opinion. 1 second. Let me just enlarge that. There we go. Let me just switch this up real quick. Or actually, let me move this out the way. All right, so this is Cam Newton. He's on the $1 million. What is it called? The $1 Million Podcast? Yeah. $1 million worth of game. Getting the game. So he's going to talk a little bit about the relationship aspect. 1 second.
Businessman Boog out here getting that money, making it happen.
Absolutely. Transition. All lanes, taking care of all lanes out here doing some big boy shit, man.
This episode of $1 Million Worth of Game is brought to you by
New Amsterdam Vodka.
New Amsterdam Vodka.
Oh, I must have put the thing to where it jumped. Hold on. Go right.
Yep. You're good.
Right.
This is not an establishment where you can come in with shorts. Not to say we're against people wearing shorts, sneakers, or things.
It's not
like
in
that.
this establishment.
It's not here. And I think once you do that, once you set the parameters and the infrastructure of what your clientele needs to be or want to be, then everything else falls in line.
That's what it's about.
Absolutely, man.
Definitely what it's about now. A lot of people, they know one Cam. They don't know Cam. The upbringing, you growing up, what was that like? How was that?
So I'm not one of these dudes to be like, bro, I'm gutter, I'm this, I'm that. Man, I had a perfect example of what a man was in my life by my father. My parents has been together for
shout out to Cam for shouting out his dad.
36, 37 years now, and it's a beautiful thing. I grew up in a 3-parent household, my mom, my father, and my grandmother. And I knew what a woman was, not a bad bitch.
Okay, what's the difference?
A woman.
Real quick, guys, a lot of people heard him say a 3-parent household. Now, typically that happens, mom, dad, grandparent. Usually, if the grandparents are getting older and the parents are, they're taking care of the mom. So it happens, and I think it's a good thing because you get that mix. You get your parents who they be giving it to you, but your grandparents they give you that wisdom.
Yeah, facts.
Woman.
Okay.
A bad bitch is a person who's just, girl, I'm a bad bitch. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I look the part, but I don't act the part.
Okay.
And it's a lot of women who are bad bitches. And I say bitches in a way, not to degrade a woman, but just to go off the aesthetic of what they deem is a boss chick. Now, a woman for me is handling your own, but knowing how to cater to a man's needs, right? And I think a lot of times when you get that aesthetic of like, I'm a boss bitch, like I'm a this, I'm a that. No, baby, like, but you can't cook.
Okay.
You don't know when to be quiet. You don't know how to allow a man to lead.
Now, a lot of women, now the kickback of that is be quiet. I'm gonna be quiet for the man and handle his business. That's what they say. Or I'm gonna be vulnerable. I'm gonna be submissive to a man and handle his business. That's what they're gonna say. So what is your
but it's ways to do it. And I'm not just about to sit up here and beat up my queen.
No, I ain't saying like that.
But I'm also gonna also tell the men to start being men, bro.
Absolutely.
That
Yeah, I see this in a lot of brothers, man, and I appreciate Cam's efforts and how he grew up and all that. I had both of my parents up until I was like 14 and 13, 14. And when I didn't have them together anymore, I went to jail within 4 years. Like, seriously. When I was 13, by the time I was 17, I'd been to jail twice for dumb stuff. Just because my dad wasn't around.
Wow.
So what I see in Cam is like, he like wants to appease the culture. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like he wants to appease the culture, so he's going to use certain terms and try to explain like the term bitch and say, well, I just mean it in this way. I just don't think that it's a term that you should ever use to describe a woman in any scenario.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you want to be somebody who wants to be cool and young and that like to use vulgarity in a what's the word I'm looking for? In a tone that's complimentary, you know what I mean? I mean, to me, that's just kind of immature.
Yeah.
I did that when I was 25. I'll be 43 next month. I don't do that no more.
Right.
I don't want nobody calling me a nigga out my name. I don't,
Mm-hmm. I agree. Now, just some context, because I didn't play it, before they actually asked him that. So they started talking about bad bees and stuff like that. And I think he was kind of leading it to like, well, a bad bee, is not this, and a real woman, it's a.
And I feel him on that. Yeah. Yeah. But like I said, he kept trying to, he's trying to appease the culture while still trying to make a point. You know what I mean? And so I get where he's coming from. I agree with almost everything he said, but it was just, some of the terminology. He's just, he's trying to appease the culture. And I don't think you necessarily have to do that to get your point across. And when he said at the end, like, you need to be a strong man, that is where it starts.
Right.
That's where it starts. The strong men start first. The women that are smart will follow. This is the way God made it.
Now, let me show you, because I want to get your opinion on this also. There is a woman who gave her opinion. This is actually Travis Kelce's girlfriend. Can you see her on the screen?
No.
Okay, 1 second. Just switch that right there. Oh. There it goes. All right. So Travis Kelce, he's a tight end, for the Chiefs? Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
probably the best tight end in football right now. One of the best.
Well, you know what? I haven't really been, watching all last year. I was paying attention for other reasons that, maybe aren't always the best, but
I got you.
but yeah, so this is his girlfriend right here.
Amount of DMs from y'all sending me this Cam Newton interview. I saw the interview. I hadn't said nothing about it because I think it's foolish that we have to keep having this same tired conversation about the qualities that make a woman of substance. This man said that you need to be able to cook and know when to be quiet. Because that's what his mama did. Like, boy, go take your mama then. Talked about it on Twitter. If y'all want to go check out Twitter, you can stop sending me the article. I saw it. I saw the interview. I said what I had to say on Twitter. Okay, bye.
Okay.
Yeah. What were your thoughts on her take?
She sounded like she was offended.
Mm-hmm.
I can see why his comments can be taken as a little bit sexist, but the overall point he's trying to communicate is these are qualities that like a man may be looking for, and they may not be.
I think
He doesn't speak for everybody. Some men like assertive, outspoken women.
Right. And that's the important thing. He said a woman to me. So
yeah, that was him. So I mean, Cam Newton ain't married to you. Travis Kelce is. I'm not sure why she even has an opinion in the matter yet. Oh, they're not married yet. Oh, okay. Well, whatever. That's that speaks to where she's coming from anyway. But I'm just saying that I took it that was Cam Newton's opinion, and maybe that's what he wants out of his woman. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing sexist about him saying that. No different than it's not sexist for a woman to say, "I want my man to have a six-pack." Like there are superficial things that we want in our partner.
Right.
He's allowed to have his if you're allowed to have yours. And there's a woman out there for him who's soft spoken and will make him a sandwich. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Travis Kelce may want a more assertive woman like her.
Yeah. Well, we'll see where that goes. But I mean, that's not necessarily
But his overall statement about being a strong man and attracting a certain type of woman, he's not wrong in that regard. You should, and I think manhood has been really under attack. bringing it full circle back to Disney specifically.
Mm-hmm.
Strong male leadership and strong male values and just being a strong man being represented in media is like hard to find now. And it wasn't in the 80s. And now it's like really hard to find.
Yeah. And you look through, we're seeing a lot, a lot of people were, saying like, hey, why do y'all keep talking about this Will Smith stuff? Why do y'all keep talking about Kanye? I'm saying like, it's not about really Will or Kanye. There's a deeper, conversation to be had because
absolutely
there are a lot of men that are in that situation that don't have that platform. There are a lot of men, if they were to do what Will Smith did, they'd be, in jail. A whole lot more than that. So.
He's got Hollywood privilege, but media will have you think that Will Smith is scared to drive down the street of the cops like you and me are. He's not.
Right.
He's just not. Dude is a billionaire. He don't live like we do. He just doesn't. You don't understand. You don't understand. You think you do, but those dudes can buy anything that they want.
That's true.
Literally, they could buy an island. I don't know about you, man. I grew up in the hood. I'm from Wilkinsburg.
Okay, neighbor. I'm over Homewood, right across.
So I'm just saying.
He said, L.R. Josie, real men don't marry aggressive women unless you're a beta.
Yeah. I've seen two aggressive people too. Like an aggressive man and an aggressive female. I've seen two aggressive. But most of the time when I do see that, if the relationship lasts, eventually the woman does capitulate to him at some point.
Well, I mean,
there's some truth to what my man is saying. Like, there's some truth to that. You have this domineering, controlling women, which I think Jada Pinkett Smith is to Will Smith. Will Smith represents what Disney wants men to be: subservient, soft, overly emotional.
Yeah,
and that's acting like a woman. Like I heard somebody say, he slapped Will Smith slapped Chris Rock like it was almost like Will Smith was the female because of his over emotional response. Like, if you didn't like it, a real man would have pulled him to the side, like you made a spectacle of yourself for what?
like they, they usually when they do those slaps, they be like, "You bitch." That's what he basically said.
I'd have had more respect for Will Smith if I found out that like later he would have approached, Chris Rock, and Chris Rock was like, "F you, man, that was just a joke," and got in his face about it, and then Will Smith socked him or something. I'd have more respect for him then, but he did it where he knew somebody couldn't respond, and then even later on, you see Jada just still manipulating him and he just looks miserable, and I'm just kind of like, you let this woman run your life, man.
Yeah.
Beta.
Yeah.
And that's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about. They're talking about
like my man Jesse Lee. He like beta.
Yeah, Jesse Lee. Yeah, beta. Because that's what they're beta males, man. They don't know how to. At some point in time, like I've been married. What? It'll be 8 years in October.
Oh, I thought you was about to say
9 years.
What, like 5 times or something?
No. I'm just saying I've been married 9 years. Let me tell you something. Most of the time, my wife gets her way. All right? Just because I decide it's not really worth the fight. But there are times where I just have to say no or enough or this is the way it's going to be. And I'm not doing it to be domineering. I have my family's best interest in mind, but I'm leading as a man should. I'm leading my household as a man should.
Right.
And at some point in time, you have to assert that authority.
Yeah.
There's going to be moments where you're just going to have to say, this is what it is.
Absolutely.
Because this is what's best for the family. Period.
Man.
End of discussion. It doesn't have to be like that all the time, because if you're like that all the time, you won't have peace in your household.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well,
man.
Yeah, you won't have peace in your household, but you just, sometimes you just got to know when to say, this is what it is, and have the authority to do so. Now, if you start doing that and it causes a fight, and you don't have authority in your household, then there's another conversation that needs to be had with you and your spouse about the state of your relationship. Or maybe you like that because you're a beta male and you want her to control you.
Take notes, because AZ over there giving the clap. He like, look.
Yeah, look. Done.
Cool, man. Well, definitely, I appreciate you coming on. Is there anything you want to shout out or anyone?
Oh, no, not really, man. I'm past my bedtime.
Okay. Well, we appreciate you. We on our 20-year-old tonight.
Yeah, I'm on a 20-year-old, man. I got to get up tomorrow and work out.
Okay.
Cool. I get up. I've been getting up in the morning, man. I got a little heavy, because I had a rough year last year. I got a little heavy, and I was up to like 2, man. I was heavy, bro. I was rolling out of bed, and y'all know when you reach that weight when you're like, oh, I got to lose some weight, and I was there, man. So.
Absolutely. I'm over here using camera angles right now. Shoot.
Yeah,
but, man. Appreciate you coming on, and
no doubt, I appreciate it, man. I'll come on again next time. I like this. This is fun.
Yes, sir. Oh man, that is awesome. AZ, aka Usher. No, but yeah, he was definitely dropping the jewels. Let me see. We got in the queue. We got J Money on here. J Money.
Yo, what's up?
What's good?
What's going on, man?
Everything.
Cool. Sorry, I go on camera. I'm looking a little rough.
Oh, that's all good.
Yeah.
Well, we want to know, what'd you think about? Have you been following the topic?
So I actually want to comment on the Will Smith situation.
Oh, go ahead.
I know I'm a little late. I was trying to get in last week, but I guess you weren't accepting people. Yo, this Huey, by the way. This Huey.
What's good? How are you?
Good. Good, man.
Nah, we were what was happening? I think we were, we were in the middle of something, but whatever the case,
cool.
Glad you made it back on.
Yeah, man. So you want my take on Will Smith?
And you said you had insider information. That's what we want. We want that insider info, straight from you over in Hawaii or on the West Coast,
California. Yeah. So I don't have insider information, but I just know how I lived in California for years. I've been around celebrities, and I just know how they operate. And I'll just say that anything that is done in front of camera is scripted or is planned. So me, I think that whole thing was fake. I'm gonna be honest with you. I mean, a lot of people disagree with me, but I think it's fake. And here's why. So Will Smith, like a lot of Hollywood, he's bisexual, right? He's gay.
Whoa, whoa,
So,
whoa, whoa, whoa.
What?
You bringing a lot of new stuff to the
Hold
table.
on. It's not new. Do your research. Do your research.
Okay.
So half of Hollywood is gay, which is nothing wrong with that. But and on top of that, he's kind of like the joke of the internet, right? So two things, like he's the joke of the internet and he's gay, right? He's not gonna sell movies with that reputation. So they gotta make him look like the masculine, black man, the alpha man, because that's what sells.
Hold on one
Because-
second. I'm gonna let you continue on all of that. I'm gonna just say, this is all allegations. We don't know, but I'm gonna let
We don't know, but this is what I think.
Boy, just make sure we safe. But go ahead.
You try to get sued. You try to get sued. But yeah, this is just my opinion, right? It's not factual, but this is my opinion just for living out here for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And I just feel that that doesn't sell, like him being the joke. And then he got a lot of points for that. Like, he stood up and then like a lot of people on my Facebook from Philly was like, yeah, he's from Philly. We don't play. And they was proud of him for that stupid behavior. But he's getting canceled and everything for now. But I have a feeling that he's going to come back, because, they're going to beat him down and then he's going to come back with like a, movie or Netflix and everyone's going to watch it because Chris Rock's tickets skyrocketed like 400% after that incident. So controversy sells, and also no one's watching the Oscars, and that incident brought the Oscars up, like the ratings, like skyrocketed. Like, wow, it's like we gotta do something to bring it back. So that's just my take on Will Smith. I just think that Hollywood is fake. Everything they do is scripted. I mean, these guys are like you said, billionaires, millionaires. He's not offended by that. What Chris Rock says, they're friends. I mean, I doubt that it really offended him, and I just think it was rehearsed. This is my opinion.
Okay, well, you're not the only one who thinks that. So let me ask you this: will you say the same thing because they're talking about lawsuits coming up?
Yeah.
Do you think that there will actually be a lawsuit, whether it's planned or not?
Like who's suing who?
Possibility. Chris Rock has said that I'm gonna start talking about it more after I get paid. So he kind of insinuated that there may be a lawsuit. Didn't say definitely,
but he could also be saying that, like when you're gonna pay me for talking about it. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to talk about for free. That's how I took it.
Right. And
like I'm not. Yeah.
That could be right.
Like when you give him the money for an interview. Like
right.
Yeah. So he's not gonna get like talk about that for free. Like give me some money. And it's kind of like the whole thing with like when Bone Thugs and 3-6 we're doing the verses. I don't know if you pay attention to that, the verses. And then no one was watching it, right? Then Busy Bone threw the bottle at Juicy J, and it was like the talk for like 2 weeks. The Bone fans going to the 3-6 fans, and it was like these groups they were popular back in the day, but they haven't been popular for a minute. And it was the most watched verses, like more than like everybody, just because that incident. And it's the same with the Oscars. Like that stuff sells. Like it's all about the moment, and it's unfortunate because back in the day it was about like who my favorite movie is gonna win, But now it's all about like antics and social media clips and stupid stuff. You know what I mean? Like what can make social media or what could trend. It's not about the actual award anymore. Like no one even know who won. They just know that Will Smith smacked dude. That's it.
Yeah. And you know what? As much as I want to sit here and say like, nah, man, that wasn't fake and stuff like that. At the end of the day, almost everyone in that room was an actor.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, exactly. Good point.
Even the janitors are probably aspiring actors, you know, because you go through Hollywood and you're at a local restaurant, someone's always a aspiring actor or something. They out there for a purpose.
Mm-hmm. And you know, Will Smith could have acted the whole thing up. And like he laughed at the joke initially, and then when he walked up to him, he was smiling, like they're both laughing. like freeze the clips, like they're like smiling. Like who smiles after you get hit?
Man, you want me to go back
and Chris Rock leans forward like he's anticipating the smack. And like I don't know, it seems like, and there's no other angle. There's one angle too. Like there's no. Like usually there's tons of cameras in there. You mean to tell me we can't get another angle of the smack?
Now, do you believe that Chris Rock has the, you know, it's like a type of autism where he's not able to read body language, body cues and stuff like that?
No, I think Chris Rock is very intelligent, you know, above intelligent. And I think he's very well aware of body language. I think he just doesn't care because you know, a lot of comedians will make fun of you and they know you're upset, but they'll just keep going because they, you know what I mean? They like the attention. So I think he's a very sharp individual. And the way he bounced back, like he said, you know, after he got smacked. So.
Okay. Well, I mean, there's like I said, you're not alone on that opinion. I'm not there with you, but it's there, and it has some legs to stand on.
But yeah, what was Smith is gay, man. Like he was with, so him and Jade are in an open relationship where they have multiple. This is
allegedly, guys. Go ahead.
So this is alleged, right? We're not getting sued. This is alleged. This is the rumor. So everyone in Hollywood is in open relationships, right? So they're in like they have sex with multiple partners. You know, Jada gets woman. Will was screwing the dude from allegedly. What's that show? It was on UPN or something. I forget. One of the actors. I'll send it to you. But
UPN only had 3 actors ever. They just
maybe it wasn't UPN. It was I forget, man.
I was about to say it's either Wayne's, Fox, or you know.
Yeah, I don't know off the top of my head, but he was doing one of them dudes, and yeah, he just his manner. Like I don't know about Pittsburgh, right? But California is like has a high gay population. I live in San Francisco. At least like 10 to 20% of the population is gay, if not more. My gaydar is on point. Like I have gay friends, you know what I mean? Like gay people I kick it with. And I look at Will, I'm like, yeah, he's gay. And there's nothing wrong with that, but he wants to portray the heterosexual black alpha male because that's what sells. And if, you know, he's not going to appeal to a certain audience if that gets out there. So you have to look masculine. And yeah.
So let me ask you this. I'm gonna just segue to this because you're out in California and Disney. I believe Disneyland was out in California, but before Disney World in Florida, right?
Yeah, correct.
Okay, you know, because the athletes, everybody, where you going? I'm going to Disneyland, and it was about the kids before, and then it was like adults, you know, going to Disneyland, riding in the teacups and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Now, you know, there's a focus, or at least there's a conversation about what's going on with the kids. Have you been following any of that?
I haven't.
Because, you know, for a long time, I lean, you know, politically towards the right, conservative in a lot of things. There are some things that with the Republican Party I don't agree with. There are some things that, sometimes especially like the moderate Democrats, there's some things that I might agree with. And a lot of it's always been like, well, how do you get to that point? But there's always been this conversation about there being an agenda. And the thing I was always told was like, there isn't any agenda. There's no agenda. No one's trying to force anything or cause anything, but now there's like been a shift. It's like wide open. Like there are people admitting it. Is there a conversation about that over in California?
About like, are you talking about like Disney influence or trying to influence like quote unquote gay agenda on other people, on children? Is that what you're saying?
Right.
Okay. This is my opinion, right? So I think that, I mean, you may disagree with me, but I feel that people are born gay. And a child, or maybe not a child, but young adult already knows that he's gay by the time, he's at sexual maturity. And he doesn't necessarily need Disney to tell him that. I just think that, it's been going on for so long, or now it's, let me say this, I think it's more acceptable now to be gay and out open, which is good. And Disney is just, appealing to that crowd that has already been there, because it's more acceptable to do that, as opposed to back in the 80s and 70s, it would be taboo. But that's not to say back in the 70s and 80s that there wasn't, gay, youth out there. It just wasn't acceptable to put it in the mainstream media. Now, as far as
well, real quick, let me ask you this: you're breaking up. You hear me?
Yeah, you can be. Okay, am I there?
When you say kids, give me an age range for kids.
I think that people are born gay. You know what I mean? But I think that, like, some kids aren't just attracted to other. They're not attracted to other. Like, how you're 12. You say you're like 12 or 13, and you have like a crush on like a girl in a school class. Some people just don't have that. They like the guy in the class, or they like the same sex, and that's just how they're operated. And then, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna give you that for a second. I don't agree with it. You're right at all. But at the age of 5, right?
Yeah.
Most kids don't, know gay, straight, or anything, because they don't know sexuality. They don't know, boyfriend and girlfriend. They only know what they mimic. Would you agree with that?
I don't know. I honestly don't know.
I know you were a smooth operator when you were a kid, but I'm saying
when I was a kid, I was a nerd. I was into like G.I. Joes and weird shit. I don't know, man, but
were you thinking about having a sexual relationship when you were a second grader or a first with a girl?
I can't think back that far, so probably not. But I know that maybe if I was in second or third grade, there's a girl I had a crush on in the class.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know that most
that wasn't like a sexual attraction? It's like, oh, like I like her. We like write a note, be my girlfriend, like that type of thing. But I'm saying there's some people that don't have that, like what me and you had at that age. Like they're not attracted to and it's the same in the animal kingdom. Did you know that there's like over like 1,000 species that's gay or bisexual? Like giraffes is one of them, dolphins is one of them. Like there's a lot of gay animals out there.
I mean, that's fine, but I don't believe
and it applies to people too. In my opinion. This is my opinion.
Right. So yeah, I get what you're coming from, but what I'm saying is that the average kid, that age, unless they're mimicking something that they see, they typically, don't know, until there's a certain point where they'll find out, But the other thing is, as far as the you said people, being born gay.
Yeah.
I found is that through research, and I'll have to, pull it up. Usually it'd be easier. My co-host isn't here. Usually I'd be researching it, but I ain't gonna be able to multitask all like that right now. But there's a percentage of them, and it's very high, that most of them have been violated in some type of way as a child. So it would beg to say, is the the behavior coming from learned behavior, or are they attracting, like is it, because let's say that you believe that they're born gay, or let's say that was true. So are the kids that are born gay just attracting the abusers somehow?
Well, I don't think that's necessarily true. Like every gay person wasn't sexually abused. I think there's a percentage that was, but I don't think
it's pretty high. Now, I'm
okay.
Ezekiel, said in the
I like to see the stats.
I don't know if this stat is right. I definitely say, someone, if anyone has a link, put it in the comments, but it's pretty high. So I don't know if it's just 80%, but
but let me ask you this. How many straight people were sexually assaulted though? It's very high too. So you saying because they were sexually assaulted, they turned them straight? So a lot of people were sexually assaulted. So
I don't think that 80% of straight people were sexually assaulted.
What's that?
I don't think that 80% of straight people were sexually assaulted.
Well, like I said, I like to see the stats, but a high percentage of people that are straight have been sexually assaulted. It's like, I don't have the stats, but it's high. But say it's not 80% though. But could you use that same argument saying that, oh, because he was molested, he's straight and he liked that? So I don't know. There's multiple factors that you have to look to analyze the data. And you know what I mean?
Yeah, but most straight people who, and you are right. Look, numbers matter. And, so I'm not.
But how data is collected also matters. Like who you ask, and, what demographic, where they're from, also matters.
Well, I mean, we can only take so much. We're not going to be able to poll the world. But, so, in statistics, we can only, use a data set. Usually you want to have a blind trial. And,
I fail statistics.
Really? Oh, man, I'm about to kick you off. I'm just
but my thing is this. So what I've noticed with Disney, a lot of their material that they put out there that, is at least what I've noticed. And it's not just Disney, it's other shows. It's like primetime TV. It's aimed at younger adults and adults. Like I don't necessarily see anything aimed at younger children. I could be wrong, but I just don't see it. Maybe because I'm not looking for it. But what I've seen from Disney, like there's a Pixar movie where it talked about it was like a cartoon character. What's that Pixar stuff? And it was like a young teenager, and she was struggling with being gay and like coming out. And that goes back to what I said. Like there's teenagers that been gay, but it's more acceptable to put it in mainstream media now. That doesn't necessarily mean they're trying to influence other people. But what I think what's happening is heterosexual men, like alpha men, and conservatives are getting upset that how dare they do this? I don't want my kid watching this. And they're offended by it.
Okay, because when for children that young, you shouldn't be showing sexualized stuff, period. You know, at all.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be showing like two 5-year-old kids kissing, or and
But
stuff.
is Disney doing that? I haven't seen that. Like what I've seen is like
Here,
what
let
I've
me,
seen.
let me play something for you real quick. This
Okay.
isn't Disney, but this is Cartoon Network, which a lot of kids watch also. Give me 1 second. Hold on. Show you an example.
Sure. Yeah, I want to see this because I just don't see it.
Now, this is interesting because this cartoon is supposed to be about racism. So I'm gonna just play this real quick.
1, 2, 3! Hey, when we're older, let's get married. Ha! You can't get married. Why not? Black people can't marry white people.
Hey now.
It's Garnet from Steven Universe.
Kids, don't be racist.
Cut. Okay, people, we just need to get coverage. We'll start again in 5.
This is the cheesiest job I've ever done. Stuff like this doesn't actually happen in real life. Whoa there. Are you kidding? It totally does.
Just because this has never happened to you, it doesn't mean it doesn't happen.
Oh, wow. I'm sorry. Seriously, I didn't know. Yeah, everyone messes up sometimes. But you gotta realize it hurts to deal with racism. And when people act like it's not real, it makes it feel even worse.
You have to acknowledge racism to work against it.
You're right. I can do that.
You kids better work on this before the wedding.
Whoa, that's just for the script. We only just met today.
Don't deny it.
Okay, can I comment on that?
There real quick. So
Can I comment on that? Or were you gonna talk? Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
what were you saying?
No, I'll let you talk. Go ahead.
Okay, so what's going on is that there's these things slipped in, in regards to, first off, it was supposed to be about racism.
Yeah.
And then somehow the gay stuff, gets slipped in there.
Okay.
So
Got it.
what's your thoughts on that?
So my thought is this. So I didn't see anything sexual about that. I saw a conversation about, race and homosexuality. So I think what they were trying to do is like, teach kids that, you may someday have a friend that's gay. That doesn't mean you're gay. And it didn't necessarily like show anything that like sexual. Like if they kissed, I'd be like, okay, that's kind of, inappropriate for kids to watch. But they're just having a conversation about race and homosexuality, which I don't necessarily see anything wrong with that. But I see why certain people would get offended because it's like, hey,
Hey, Money, someone asked, do you have kids?
I got a niece.
Okay. But go ahead.
Okay. But I can see why like people would get like I wouldn't get offended by it, but I can see why other people would. But like you gotta look at this. Like it's 2022. If you got kids, more than likely they're growing up in this day and age. They're gonna grow up in a society where they're gonna work around gay people. They're gonna have gay friends, and that's just the way life is now. And my thing is this: if you're secure with your masculinity, you're not gonna be offended by another gay person because, like, gay people are selective who they hit on. Like they're picky. Like just like we like certain women, they like who they like. And if I was like insecure with my sexuality, I'd be like, oh, get away from me. But I know who I am. So being around gay people doesn't necessarily bother me. So people that's homophobic, it kind of makes me wonder, are you gay too? Like, why does this offend you so much?
Well, homophobic is one of them words where, I'm not sure that it actually means what, most people are saying it, whenever they say it. as there's a lot of words, like there's a takeover on our language, to where, different words are being said in a way to kind of lead the culture. It takes a lot of power out of it. Just like the word narcissist gets used over and over and over again. And a lot of times it's out of context. And that's kind of what's happening, with that word, with phobe,
But were people saying that about racism? They're saying, well, racism isn't actually a word. It's just they get offended by it, those people. And I feel like, why are we as Black people that have been oppressed so much treating gay people so badly, and especially conservative Black people, when there's tons of gay people in your church, your drummer's gay, the choir singer's gay, a lot of the Black preachers are gay, even though they're married. I mean,
oh man, there you go, these allegations again, man. You trying to man?
But
come on, man.
Nah, but I've been to Black churches, man. Like the drummer is always gay, the choir dude, and we need the choir dude, even though he's gay, he can sing. We need him.
I've seen it before, but I wouldn't say all, but what
Not
I
all, but a good percentage.
What
you
I
grew up at Homewood. We grew up as like 90% Black. I know you've seen that shit. Excuse my language, sorry.
Yeah, it's out there, but what I'd say is this, okay? If we're going to have conversations about race, wouldn't you agree that you can get the most powerful conversation about race by keeping a focus on race?
Yeah. I see what you mean there. So this is what this is a conversation I have with my gay friends. So I say this: the gay issue and the race issue is what is it? They're two separate issues. You know what I mean? And some gay people see it as the same issue, right? Because it's like a civil, because both groups are oppressed, but it's two different issues, and that's what, like my friend Mike, he's gay, and I had a conversation with him. He's like, "Yeah, I agree with you," and he said that some people try to make it an inclusive issue, but it's not. So I do get that aspect of it.
Well, it goes under the philosophy of intersectionality. Now, at the end of the day, I don't believe that in 2022 that Black people are so oppressed that we can't do anything. We have to just be given everything by white massa, and we need these biscuits, oh Lord, and all that. We need these biscuits.
There's opportunities out there.
There's so many opportunities out there. So I don't believe that. But if I were one of those people that did believe that, I would kind of start feeling like you're diluting the Black struggle by putting it on the gay stuff, putting it on feminism, putting it on the trans stuff, putting it on that. I'm like, man, can we get a us thing? Like Joe Biden, Joe Biden and Trump, they were both posed with different plans. You probably saw Ice Cube do the contract with Black America, and he went to both camps, and one said here's what we're going to do, and that was Trump, and it was something with 500 billion. I don't remember exactly how it was going to be spent, and then with Biden, he said we'll kind of see once we get in, which that's political speak for vote for me, and after that, I'm probably not going to do what I say to do.
Yeah. Well, Malcolm X said, "Would you rather have the northern wolf or the southern fox?" So the southern fox, which is Republican, is going to admit he's racist, and he's going to, openly admit it. But the northern fox is going to pretend he's not. Now, the thing is with me is I say I lean more Democrat than Republican, but overall I'm very liberal, but I'm independent in my thinking. So where I do agree with you is that we do have, like, we're not dumb. Like, we do have the ability to succeed on our own without help from the government. But I think where the gay, going back, I want to stay on going back to the gay thing. I think they've stood beside us through like our struggles, through a lot of through the marching, through the advocacy. Like they've been there because
but
they know it's like to be oppressed.
Like the Christian abolitionists, they actually put their lives like at risk. Like these were different times. Like one was like, if you harbor a slave, we are going to kill you. The other is we're going to probably beat you up.
Wait, what do you mean?
Huh?
What do you mean?
Like when they were doing the Underground Railroad and stuff like that, a lot of them were pilgrims. And
but were they Christian or were they pilgrims?
Quakers.
Yeah, they weren't Christian.
They probably considered themselves Christians. Whether everything lines up philosophically or not. Just saying that the Quakers, a lot of them, they were against that, and their lives were in danger by doing that. In the
Christians hung a lot of black people, right? You know that, right?
I don't think those are, just like you said, you don't think they're. I don't think those people are Christians. The people that are doing that, and the Bible says everyone who says Lord, Lord, isn't isn't mine.
But the KKK. Well, I won't say the KKK. I'll just say this: it would the southern the southern in the South. The people that claim they're Christians were the ones hanging black people. So you have northern migration to Pittsburgh, right? We're kind of getting off topic, but this is interesting, right? So you have northern migration to Pittsburgh. You have western migration to California. Black people never lived in Pittsburgh. Black people never lived in Los Angeles or Oakland. The reason they came here was because they were being killed and slaughtered by quote unquote Christians, and this was a sanctuary for them to get away from that.
Well,
but that's another topic.
Here's what we do: you take us on the trail of tears, and that is a conversation to be had, and we'll definitely do that in the future. Now, real quick before I let you go, did you see what Cam Newton said?
I caught bits and pieces with it, but I agree with the other dude that was here on here. He made some good points. What is his name?
Usher. No, AZ.
Baby. Yeah.
Well, that guy, he's one of them dudes that's been,
he's still on here.
Streets and just like he had said, he's done some things, going to jail, had those type of experiences. So the road to manhood was probably different for him than for some people. So he's had some experiences that have definitely helped him. But definitely appreciate you coming on. Anything you want to shout out or any last words?
Yeah, my thing is I know you your views are different than mine and my views are different than yours, but regardless, I respect you. And I think probably the problem we have in today's society is someone thinks totally different and we're like, oh, F them. I don't gotta mess with them because they think different. And I think that's the divisiveness of social media and politics. And I think we need to chill with that.
I would be okay with that.
To do what
what's getting taken to now is I don't agree with you, and you don't need to work. You need to just die.
Yes, regardless if your opinion is different than mine, I would kick it with you, and I would kick it with you back in days. I think you're a cool dude.
Yeah, you ever come to the burger? If I end up out there, I'll have a Sprite with you. I don't drink.
For sure, I don't drink either. I don't drink.
I'm lame. I drink the Sprite so it looks like it's black or something. They say don't sit with your hand empty. So I just do it to kind of make myself look cool. But yeah, definitely. I'm gonna get to this next caller. Definitely appreciate you, and come back.
Show, man.
All right, bro.
All right, take care.
Man, that was powerful. Man, we got the legend, Swanee G.
What's going on, my brother?
Everything. You embrace your black side. I see you are black today.
Yeah, man. Hey, listen, I'm on a parkway. I'm on my way to Green Tree, and I'm stuck in this traffic. I've been sitting here for 20 minutes. I don't know what the heck is going on.
Wow.
So I'm in the car chilling right now.
Hopefully you're using Bluetooth or some type of headset, right? You keeping it safe?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool. What you want to talk about?
Man, this Cam Newton thing, man, I've been thinking about this for a minute, and it's interesting. How he put it. Now I'm gonna say a little jokey joke. Cam Newton, he need to worry about how he dress. You know what I mean? He better get his gear together. You know what I mean? Wear all them tight ass pants and stuff like that. But anyhow, all good though. I like Cam Newton, but no, he made an interesting point when it comes down to how women are and how because I've been hearing this a little earlier as well, and to me, it comes down to as men, who are married, it comes down to leadership, and people misconstrue that as control, right? If you're a man or woman want us to be leaders, right? But some women can't take that. They look at that as control. And a lot of times, and I had this conversation before, we're not thinking about the traumas that both our women been through throughout the generations, and most of our men been through throughout the generations. You got to think about the mass incarceration. You got to think about the single households and women taking care of the children most of the time, and then you got to think about everything in between. Now, the dynamic of relationships nowadays are a lot different than they were back in the 50s, 60s and 70s, where things start to change from there. But women look at a man to be a leader, right? But a lot of times they look at that as control. And, it's okay to be independent as a woman. It's okay to be independent as a man. Truth be told, we're not even promoting marriage. Everybody should be promoting marriage. And that's the problem. We have walked away from the conversation of marriage. We're not doing that enough, and that's why there's a breakdown of the black family in general. So you got a lot of single women and you got a lot of single men, and that's the problem right there. So again, when it comes to being a leader, I think a lot of it is looked at as being controlling, and that's the breakdown.
Yeah, man, Swanee, you don't disappoint. Came through, swinging that bat. I'm like, man, my man over here going 750 tonight. Going yard, but good points. Obviously there were some things in the past, and there are resilient people. I know that the black community has resilient people. Even as human beings, all of us are resilient, but we have the ability to be able to bounce back. And like you had said, it's important for us to start promoting the things that are going to be able to help us. Someone had said this. They said it is nearly impossible to build generational wealth outside of marriage. Not that it's impossible, but it's almost impossible. It's very difficult. So when we're looking at those things like the next generation and trying to build for them and stuff like that, you got to start from the foundation. So you over here just hitting it right on the nose, man. How long you been married, Swanee?
It'll be 18 years for me this year in May.
Oh man, tell we're going to give a shout out to Mrs. Swanee G. I ain't got the special clapping thing that LaRon got, so I gotta do it manually.
It's all good. I definitely appreciate it, man. But I do want to say, man, listen, marriage is not easy. You know what I mean? We're in a society that we have so many distractions. You know what I mean? And a lot of times, you know, in the society where we live in, you know, with all these damn distractions, you know, we can lose focus on what's important, and that is the love of one another. You know what I mean? And I'm not afraid to say I've been there, you know, back in the day. You know what I mean? Because of all these distractions. And you know, it took a lot of praying, and it took a lot of self-discipline. And that's what it comes down to, man. It's a constant work in progress. You can't just walk into a marriage and just think everything is going to be joyful. It's not, especially if you don't have a foundation. And everything should be built on a foundation. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of people that I understand that are getting married and don't have a foundation. Either because of, you know, they grew up in a single parent household, or they just haven't seen nobody in the structure of somebody being married and what that looks like. And that's not, I'm not saying it's their fault, but because everything is not perfect and we see things differently. However, you know, the mentors and the role models we're around is going to reflect how we look towards a relationship and marriage in general.
Right. Hey, I hope y'all taking notes here. He over there just dropping the dimes and stuff like that. And you're definitely right, man. A lot of people, I was talking about in the beginning of the show. I said before Disney started focusing on the gender stuff and the LGBT stuff, they were promoting a thing to where it was about like the prince meets the princess and they get married and it's just happily ever after. And you know, I was making the point that was ruining a lot of marriages. You know, because there's this false expectation that everything's going to be okay. You know, you're not going to have to work. You know, and that's we know that's not true. It's a lot of work.
Right. It's definitely a lot of work. And you know, for an example, like I said before, you know, in the 50s, when we look at history, and one more thing before I say that, because you mentioned Disney, how many Disney movies or Disney in general, Pixar or whoever else, Hollywood in general, how many Hollywood shows or movies promote Black men and women married successfully, working together to make it work? Ain't too many movies out there or shows that you know reflect that at all. And so our kids grow up seeing some of the, you know, these the princess movies and the Cinderella movies and you know, and all of that, but they're not looking at the value of a person. You know, they see the money, they see the cars, they see the jewelry, and they think that's the way it's supposed to be. Nah, life is hard. You know what I mean? And when movies and shows make it seem so easy, you got kids growing up thinking, oh yeah, I'm going to do it easy. I'm going to make it easy. That's why a lot of times people like to make that money the fast way. And a lot of times I get most of our people in trouble.
Right. Man.
You know, but real quick, yeah, in the 50s, as I was mentioning, you know, there was a structure. There was a household. There was a structure. You had grandma and grandpa, and they had all the kids, whether they had 2 kids or 10 kids. And they took care of everything. You know, grandpa went out and worked in the steel mills while grandma took care of home, did all the laundry, did all the cooking, and did everything else. And that's how it was. And that's how it used to be. And, you know, the traumas from slavery still exist to this very day. And of course, the breakdown of the Black family has diminished over the years, but we got to get back to that and just start promoting it more.
Okay. Cool, man. Well, definitely appreciate you coming through, bringing the fire as usual. Fire.
Man. Absolutely, man.
I'm going to give you the last word.
Yeah, man. Well, first, man, I want to thank you for inviting me to the show. Like I said, unfortunately, I'm stuck in traffic, man, and you know I can't put my camera on. But I just want to thank you for inviting me on to the show and T&J Radio Show, man. If you're listening, man, please subscribe, like, and share. Man, you guys are doing an awesome job, man. I love what you guys are doing, man, and I'm going to support no matter what. Y'all my brothers, and that's what it should be. And so I appreciate you getting me on. And those who are listening, man, It's time for us to come together. It's time for us to unite as a people and do whatever we need to do to help one another so we can grow together. So peace and love.
All right. All right, brother. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
Careful in that traffic. Man. So Swanee, come on. Just over here, you know, people might have been about to go to bed. They like, man, I'm gonna just stay on a little bit. But definitely a great show. Hopefully you guys were entertained, educated, and like I said, there's going to be a lot of destruction left behind. So we're going to spend some time cleaning it up over the future. LaRon J, he'll be back next week. He's taking a brief vacation. Enjoy yourself, brother. But definitely great show. And with that, be sure to like the show, share it with someone, and we'll see you next time. Oh, and next week we got a special guest, so be sure to tune in, share it with as many people as you can. All right, y'all. Peace.